kitten, fountain, mittens, kitten, fountain, mittens, kitten, fountain, mittens.
We write a T or even two T's in these words. But do you really hear the T sound when we pronounce it?
Kitten, fountain, mittens.
One of the viewers of my pronunciation videos suggested that I make this video because he wanted some help with this sound and the words that include this sound. But whether you are learning English or are a native speaker, you're going to be surprised by some of the words that you hear and see today. We're going to be hearing pronounced or learning to pronounce a sound that most native speakers use, but don't realize they use. And what is that sound? It's called a glottal stop. Say what? Yeah, a glottal stop. It's the sound that we use when we say that informal way of saying no. It's easy to do. When we say we're just closing the glottis in the back of the throat. The glottis is part of the larynx, back there with your vocal cords. And that's what we use when we say We just stop the air for a moment and we close the glottis, and that's how the sound is produced. We produce the in many words, that sound, but we don't really think about it in English because we don't have a letter that represents that sound in the English language. Some languages do, though. In the Squamish alphabet of the native people of British Columbia, the number 7 is used to represent that sound. In the International Phonetic Alphabet, the symbol is this one. You may see this used a lot in dictionaries to help you with your pronunciation. But because of spelling, most people are not even aware that they make this sound. And I want to make a disclaimer here. There can be a lot of variation in pronunciation depending on the person, their dialect, and the situation. Whether or not someone uses this particular sound in words or not. So I'm sure some of you native speakers will say, oh, I don't pronounce that word the way he does. Well, maybe not, and that's okay. Let's just start with one word. If you ask someone to read this word, they're going to look at it and enunciate it very carefully. Yeah, enunciate. That's what we do when we're being very careful about how we pronounce words, so that we make each particular sound very carefully so that we can be understood, like when we're preparing for a speech or maybe when we sing in the church choir. So when you see the word, you're likely to say mountain, mountain if you're enunciating. But in fast, everyday conversation, most of us don't do that. We say mountain. And in this word, because of a combination of stress and fast speaking, the T, that T sound often turns into the glottal stop. So we say mountain. Usually when we make this sound, we have words that have 2 or more syllables. The first one is stressed, and then we have a T, not always, but usually a T that starts the next syllable, as in mountain. So, mountain, mountain. So, what other words and phrases often get that glottal stop, that sound in American pronunciation? That's important, right? That's important, right? important. There you go. Important. Again, we get that sound. Important. Important. So, what are other common words that use this sound? Well, our language comes from Britain. Well, it was England when it came to our side of the Atlantic. Britain, Atlantic, Britain, Atlantic. Do you hear it? And I'm certain you'll want to know about these. Oh yeah, certain, certain, and certainly. And what about your clothes? What are they often made of? Look at the label and you'll see cotton, cotton. That double T is often pronounced with the glottal stop. Cotton, cotton.
And now let's talk about some action.
Those verbs. We get that glottal stop in different forms of verbs. Again, especially where we get a T or double T in the middle, like written, gotten, eaten, forgotten, threaten. But I'm not going to threaten you. One more time. Written. Hear it? Written. Gotten. Eaten. Forgotten. Threaten. No T's pronounced. No real T's. Just that glottal stop. And it isn't always a T that changes to that sound. Today, I tried to use some Christmas decorations for my background. Background. Yeah, background. We often use a glottal stop with two separate words in sentences. Who's that boy? That boy. In fast speech, we don't say that boy. Who's that boy? And where do you live? In a house or an apartment? Apartment, apartment. So if you're someone learning English, what should you do about this this glottal stop sound? I say, don't worry about it too much. If you say apartment, apartment, everybody will understand you. Will you sound a little different? Maybe, but it's probably not something most people will notice. If you are speaking with native speakers on a regular basis, over time, you're going to absorb their pronunciation. It will become almost second nature to you. And as I said at the beginning, most native speakers don't even know they use the glottal stop. Maybe you know other words and phrases that contain this glottal stop sound. If you do, add them to the comments down below because there are so many. There's no glottal stop in subscribe and like. But I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and I hope you'll like this video. If you subscribe, be sure to hit that bell so you get notification when I put out a new video. And as you notice, I've got the wreath up. Yes, it's Christmas time. So Merry Christmas to all of you and thanks for watching.